Congrats.
Congrats,
Yeah,
dupreeh.
congrats.
Thank you. Oh, it's loud in here.
It is incredibly loud. Yeah, you can adjust your knobblies and your bobblies down there. There we go. That should be a bit better for you. Yeah, congratulations.
Thank you.
Obviously, it's hella loud in the arena. We had the crowd behind you. Feeling good to be making it to the semi-finals?
Yeah, it's been a long time since we've been on the stage with Vitality, and I could feel that with the team today. But I mean, making it to the semis here was something that we really wanted, and I'm just glad that we got here.
Particularly as we were just talking about it, right? The last time we saw you really making a true deep playoffs run was when you lifted the trophy at EPL. Obviously, totally different vibes in this arena, right?
It is. I mean, we could, like, when we started out the game, we could feel that the arena was not empty, but there was not that many people. And the more we got into the game, the more thrilled we got. You know, heard the drums starting, you know, the crowd pumping up. So I think, in some sense, I felt like we were this young, small artist that was going to warm up for the bigger game yet later. So yeah, it was kind of weird.
Not only that, I think that it's huge from you guys. Those last 3 events that you played, if I'm not mistaken, you guys actually ended up losing in quarterfinals, right? So you kind of break the curse of that. Now you hit the semifinals. But talk me through like this game in specific. Like obviously we saw Apex say in the interview that you guys were prepared for Mirage. How much that actually helped and contributed you guys to be able to perform like this? Was it a lot about the preparation? You guys had a specific approach for this match since it was kind of obvious the pick from them. You guys picking Nuke as well. Same maps you guys played before.
I think gameplay-wise, I think it was obvious the maps that we're going to play today. So of course we went here prepared. But I think that the biggest hurdle and the thing we put the most emphasis in was that we had to be prepared mentally, because Big did not qualify for the major. We did, and we came from a really good run at the RMR, where Big obviously they didn't make it, and for them, they don't have any major coming up. This is the most important thing for them. So of course they want to show that okay, we didn't qualify the major, but we can still play good. And I think that was the one thing that we put a lot of effort into, that we needed to be prepared. And it's been a long time since we played in an arena. You know, it's a completely different setting. Yeah, sure, we have a lot of experienced guys in the teams, but we don't have that much experience together as a team when we're sitting on stage. And I think that was a really big lesson for us to learn today, because it definitely wasn't perfect, but it was enough to get us to the semifinals.
dupreeh, I want to know this, right? You've been at every single major now. That's the only player to have done it. And congratulations on that. When the first major came along, you were a teenager still. Now that we have the final one, you're a dad. So how do you stay on top for so long? What's the key to having the longevity that you had in the scene?
I think there's a lot to it, and obviously thanks first of all. I think there's a lot to it. The passion for the game, and also in some sense accepting that, at least in this situation that I'm in right now, I'm not supposed to be a star player. I was back in Astralis alongside Device. I've all of a sudden found myself in a new role, and it has taken a long time for me to adapt to it. But the whole idea about always wanting to be, I mean, I'm doing this for a living. I'm putting so many hours into this game, and I want to be on top. There's only one way for me to play this game, and that is to be among the best teams in the world. And I think that has definitely powered me through a lot of the things. But in hindsight, I think it's also a big shout out to all my teammates, because you know I wouldn't have been there without them. And yes, I've had my up and downs in my career, where they have carried me through, and then sometimes I've carried them through. Yeah, I'm really proud of myself. But at the same time, it's also something that I maybe expected of myself.
You should be proud. And I have another question, because as we know, your focus is on Paris, the organization, the team, and everything, right? But you've now won, as Luis pointed out, the quarterfinal finally. Have Cloud9 in the next game, completely winnable game as well. I think it's pretty even, that matchup. So how much more dangerous would Vitality be in Paris if you could end up lifting the trophy here?
I think it will give us a lot of confidence. It's a lot of confidence that the team has needed for a long time. I think we finally found a good way to work, and it's really been paying off the last couple of months. Whenever we started the new season, we had a really good approach to the thing, and we knew that Paris was going to be the one that was going to have a lot of pressure, and the one that we had to put all of our eggs into the basket. And sure, winning here would be really great, but at the same time, I think it was Kaden, he mentioned as well, like with the whole schedule and everything coming up, this tournament is not has not been prioritized in the same way as the major has in the RMR, for that matter. We came here knowing that we need to do our best, but at the same time, we're not grinding 4 hours of deathmatch every day. We're not playing 10 faces games every night. we play a little bit, we have a talk, and sure, when we go into the game, it's all about that we do the things we know that work for us. But besides that, it's all about recuperating and gaining energy and momentum going into the major. So I think that is what is on our minds right now. But I mean, sure, everyone loves winning, and if you could go here knowing that we've beaten FaZe Clan and we've beaten Big now, potentially, let's say we go to the grand final, also besting Cloud9. I mean, it's some really big names, so sure, it will give us a lot of confidence.
dupreeh, can I pick your brain just specifically back at the RMR as well? Because, you know, when we're looking in from the outside, looking in on Vitality, you've got 2 French players. You want to be making it to the major in Paris. For you, getting 19 out of 19, the last CSGO major as it was announced as well. How much pressure did you actually feel at that tournament? Was it like, you know, one of the highest ever for you?
No, actually not. I was asked by Lars, our sports psychologist, and he asked me if I could actually feel the pressure, and in some sense I actually said no, and I don't know if it's because it's the last one. And I really didn't put much into the whole getting 19 out of 19 majors, and sure, it's in Paris, but it's something we've been talking about since January, so it's not something that's come out of thin air. It's something we've been preparing for and putting a lot of effort into, so it was just meant to be in some sense, and I think the stars just aligned us in that tournament. Sure, we had a small hiccup against 9, which we felt we should have won, but they also deserved to win that one. But making Legends and knowing that we are in Paris meant a lot to the team, and it gave us a lot of confidence. But at the same time, the pressure, for me at least, was not present in the same way I actually expected it to be. And I'm not sure why, but sometimes I guess you just get comfortable, and that's how it is.
I mean, it obviously paid off, so you guys made it there anyway in the end.
There's no magic tricks or anything. But
just before we let you go, I do want to get a couple of thoughts on Cloud9, because it's been a minute since Vitality and Cloud9 have actually faced off in an official, particularly on LAN. Any thoughts on them at the moment, particularly given that they aren't going to be in Paris?
Yeah, same thing as with Big, a team that everyone expected to go to the major. Unfortunately, they didn't, and they found themselves in a last chance qualifier against FaZe. You know, everyone in Group B was like, oh, we don't want to go to the last chance qualifier. And so for them, surely it's heartbreaking. I mean, you could definitely feel that on them. But so I guess they had the same kind of goals going here as Big had. They want to prove that they can play really good Counter-Strike, and they want to show that it was a small hiccup. And they're such young players, and in some sense, such a young team. So they definitely know that they will have more chances in the upcoming game. So I think we will have the mindset as we had today, coming into the game, knowing that we're playing an opponent that has, in some sense, nothing to lose. But at the same time, it's also a team that has a really high skill ceiling. Yeah. So they're going to be dangerous to play, but I'm really looking forward to it.
dupreeh, I lied. One more question. The chicken is Furia. The bell is Heroic. Which one's going to win?
So this was her.
This is Furia.
Furia.
That's Heroic. Which one are you squeezing or shaking?
I'm actually really excited about this one. I forgot again. This is Furia?
Furia.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Hey.
I think Furia really wants to win. They want some revenge from the major, and you know, with the crowd, everything can happen. But I think on paper, maybe Heroic is the better team as of right now. But we know what crowds can do. So.
Truly Brazilian magic. Man, thank you so much for joining us. You can go off with your team. Congratulations on the win, and yeah.